Carrier Strike Group 11, led by the USS Nimitz, is now en route to the Middle East.
Breaking news this morning, President Trump arriving back in the U.S. just a short time ago after abruptly leaving the G7 summit in Canada early.
Envision the wake of the USS Gerald R Ford, slicing the ocean's surface as dusk falls over the eastern Mediterranean. Its deck is alive with F-35s. Nearby, the more carriers Carl Vinson and Nimitz hold station, backed by destroyers buzzing like guardian bees. But this isn't a parade. This is power projection. A message to Tehran, a signal to allies, a shield for friends. It's America saying, we mean business. And for Iran, it's a warning that echoes louder than any shell. Session 1. The scale and scope. Let's unpack the sheer force arrayed. 3 carrier strike groups, each an armada floating nuclear city. Escort destroyers equipped with Aegis missile systems, F-35, F-22. Stealth jets and Tomahawk missile silos poised to strike. Mobile missile defense platforms and Patriot systems ready on regional bases. These aren't naval patrols. They're cyber-connected, combat-ready, and strategically positioned for fast response. Every glance from deckhands to admirals reverberates with intent. Session 2. Escalation that triggered this move. The catalyst. Israeli strikes on suspected Iranian nuclear complexes. 1. Iran's retaliation via stealth drones and missiles against Israeli and allied targets point to Trump's public warnings, urging restraint but readying the hammer in case diplomatic lines. 3. Break. This wasn't a drill, it was action. And the U.S. moved from monitoring hot situation to defense posture of war-ready vessels. Session 3. Iran's isolation. History once bolstered Iranian counterplay. Syria allowed Iranian arms and forces to operate freely. Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza served as extension assets. Yemen's Houthis attacked shipping in the Red Sea today. Alliances falter. Gulf nations shift uncomfortably away. Even Russia's send-off is cautious. Tehran stands stripped of supports, stripped of historical buffers. Session for naval history, repeating echoes of 1987-88's tanker war ring here. Then, as now, Iran tested us resolve with patrol boats, drone skirmishes, small missile submarines. America responded with carrier interceptions and naval escort missions. Now, it's bigger jets, strategic missile systems, layered response doctrine. Yet, the playbook remains eerily recognizable. If Tehran missteps, the U.S. has delivered a show of forceps, prepared to go further if necessary. Session 5. Warfare through deterrence. These ships are deterrents, by design. Layers of defense from ship to satellite to ground installations, creating a fortress in motion. Psychological warfare carriers broadcast power, even when silent. Every tracked launch camera, every wireless signal is part of a kinetic orchestra for Iran. The knowledge that its missiles are being countered mid-flight is its own deterrent, but it's also a clarion warning. Threats can be executed immediately. Session 6. Domestic political game. What we see in Washington. Public unity messages. Congress expresses bipartisan support for carrier deployment. Politics for Trump. This underscores strength and distracts from domestic issues. Messaging to voters. Warships convey leadership. They aren't just ships. They're political theater. Each carrier is a message to internal audiences and global theaters alike. Session 7. Iran's decision calculus. Tehran is at a crossroads. Escalate. Risk missile salvos or coastal threats with no aerial cover. Hoping for asymmetric response. Stand down. Preserve military infrastructure and political headline obligations, but with allies stepping back. Escalation may isolate Iran globally. Their leadership must choose between defiance and self-preservation. Session 8. Broader implications. The impact extends far. Oil flow. Crisis in the Gulf rattles markets instantly, with refineries and pipelines reeling. Trade path disruptions. Red Sea shipping lanes, critical to global commerce, are now vulnerable. Proxy fallout. Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, and Yemen's groups all poised to escalate with Iran's encouragement. Every military move emits shockwaves across geopolitics. Money, influence, terrain. Session 9. Diplomatic undercurrents. While carriers deck the horizon, diplomats speak in shadows. EU envoys hover around Stockholm and Geneva, seeking a hostage ceasefire. Russia quietly mediates, appealing to Tehran. The U.S. alternates between public warnings and discreet diplomatic engagement. Each quiet envoy is racing the visible fleet for control of outcomes. Session 10. Military standing orders. On the ground and CU.S. bases in Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain transform overnight with tents, launchers. Rotational forces, Patriot, THAAD, and Iron Dome-style defenses roll out across Israel and regional strongholds. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, brace missions, shift from standby to active alert. This isn't passive preparation, it's mobilization. Session 11. Human reality. Beyond the iron and fuel, evacuated diplomats and families wait in Ramstein, free from combat. Service members stationed far from home feel the tension. Iranians, stock up. Follow fast-moving news. Wonder about retaliations and reprisals. Conflict isn't an abstraction, it's echoing footsteps. Session 12. Errors. Wars by mistake. Military doctrine warns of unintended consequences. Rogue drone, misidentified tanker, single intercepted missile all. Catalysts. Complex rules of engagement. Tested under stress, decision makers in vivo time lose clarity. A missile launched appears real to a commander that must respond instantly each carrier movement. Ramps proximity and complexity. Risk ratchets upward. Session 13. Economic pain at home. U.S. citizens don't need to deploy yet, they feel this taxpayer burden for shipments, crew charts, logistics, oil, shipping, defense stocks, jitter, inflationary effects ripple down. Higher mortgage rates, fuel costs, airline fares. Domestic watchers may not feel the carrier's wake, but they feel its price. Session 14. Media divide. Networks diverge. Patriotic drums erupt on Fox. We're protecting freedom. Cautious analysis on MSNBC. Is this the prelude to war? Global press spotlights civilian instability and humanitarian impact. The tone shapes public support. Anchors sentiment. Session 15. Iran's proxy playbook. Tehran has tools beyond their missile stockpile. Houthi guerrillas could remap Red Sea shipping. Hezbollah might target borders or oil tankers. Cyber warfare from Tehran targets banks, utilities, and infrastructure. The region hums with wide-ranging potential escalations. Session 16. U.S. strategy options. Washington runs choices. Diplomatic off-ramp with relief field offset sanctions. 1. Maintain presence. Sustain deterrence. Point 2. Preemptive strike. If threats escalate. Point 3. All paths carry risks and potential outcome. Session 17. Watch list ahead. Eyes to see. Carrier job cycles rotations reveal seriousness. Energy market fluctuations. Gasoline at stations. Futures. Diplomatic signals from Tehran or Riyadh. Congressional votes on defense budgets. Containment authority. Time and tides track the tension. Session 18. The message in motion. This is more than hardware, it's narrative. For America, readiness, reassurance, deterrence. For allies, we're in this together. For Iran, you're being watched and we can reach you. Every ship, jet, missile launch speaks final words. This isn't a naval exercise. It's a high-stakes test of wills. A moment where open conflict, careful diplomacy, and strategic timing intersect. The U.S. moves carriers into play. Iran stands alone under rising pressure. What happens next? A war that flames hotter, a tense peace held together by whispers in Geneva and portals on Twitter, because once steel meets sea and politics meets water though.